Yes.
I'm into it.
Yeah, this is more back than I normally do, but I've spent the weekend with my niece and my cousin's daughter is basically like a niece, and I feel like maybe I'm feeling inspired by the youth to do the full slick back like they do. That's like I don't.
Is
That's what the girls are doing these days.
that's what that's what the kids are doing? They're doing a full slick back?
Yeah, like a full slick back. Yep.
I guess I'm trying to think. I'm sure. I mean, I don't have as many youths of that age in my life, like close by, but obviously I see them. And maybe I'm just not observing their hairstyles as much as I should.
Yeah, I mean
Frankly, since they know it's cool.
it's not the only hairstyle, but I feel like it is yeah, I feel like definitely it's a nice easy hairstyle to do if you want your hair to be out of your face, or if like me you're between washes, it's like a easy way to just get rid of it. I was saying, like, when I did it, I'm not used to seeing, like, I feel like my ears, not used to seeing like the entirety of my ears. I feel like usually when I do my hair, my ears are a little bit more covered. So yeah.
I don't see your ears at all. I mean, they're certainly not like sticking out to me.
Yeah, it's more just like, when I turn my head. But anyway, this is me trying something new and trying it on this podcast so that people can see, and I will always remember that I did this. Yeah.
I'm always hesitant to wear my hair back on anything recorded because especially after like the nonstop eating and drinking fest that I've been on, I feel like my face is a lot like puffier than it usually is. And it just, I don't know. I'm like very self-conscious about the shape. My face has always been round. It's always been round. I've never had a particular like angular jawline. But especially now when some of these people have like, it's like you could bounce a dime off of their jawline.
Yeah.
Like that is just, it's never going to be me. It's never going to be me.
Some of them have some help from the medical industry, which makes a difference. Yes. I definitely clench my teeth at night. And so sometimes I do wake up with a little bit of soreness, and I've been toying with the idea of trying Botox in my masseters because it's supposed to help with that. And, whenever I go to the dentist, they tell me they can see the sort of wear and tear happening in my teeth because of the grinding of teeth at night. But then I don't know if you saw this, but Hannah Berner, who's on the Giggly Squad, she recently got, injections in TM for her TMJ. Like, I think it was either Botox or Dysport or whatever it's called. And they messed it up. And the result is that like her mouth is like this now, like she can't actually smile. And there's no way. After I saw the video, I mean, she's like, I think I saw a comment somewhere that was like, this was the best thing to happen to your podcast because it's like created such hilarious content. And it's truly funny. It's like she cannot emote on her face at all, but also just that it's not just that her face is frozen. It's frozen in like a particularly funny position if she tries to smile.
Yes. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I have seen it. And I heard her on the Giggly Squad talking about it. And that's horrifying. I mean, it wears off, right? Like she will have her.
She'll get, but so I started researching it because I was like, oh my goodness, because I'm also like, she's a celebrity. So I, would assume she has access to like the best, like, there was a segment where I think she was joking about, like she didn't find it on Groupon, but she didn't do as much vetting as she should have. But I'm still like, you're a celebrity. Like, I feel like you would go to some place, like you're not just going to some hole in the wall.
Thing.
But yeah, so then I was researching it to see like what the sort of reset time is. And it takes months. Like there's not an easy way that you can correct it. You just have to wait for it to wear off. And I think I saw online it can take like around 3 to 4 months.
Okay, that's frightening. And I would be so paranoid about like, well, what if it doesn't fully go back to what it was? What if my smile looks different? Or yeah, it's like I'm still able to smile, but it's something new. And that
also,
would be
3 months is a really long time. Like, you know, like 3 months is it's like one thing if it was 3 days, 3 weeks, like, okay, I can try to hibernate. 3 months is an entire season of the year. Like you can't, like it's just a really long time.
For the rest of summer, you look like you're grimacing. It's really, that's crazy. I didn't know that it was 3 months. I also thought it was like, oh, maybe it's like a 3-week type of thing, or maybe there's something you can do to reverse it. But
I mean, this is just based on my Google research. So there, you know, there may be methods, or it might be shorter, but it totally scared me. Like I was like, absolutely not. Even though I know if I went to someone who was really experienced and trained and knew what they were doing, but I'm sure the likelihood of that happening is really small. I think from what I saw, they just totally messed up by injecting it in the wrong place. Like they injected it into the wrong muscle. So it affected like the smile muscle instead of like the jaw or whatever that muscle is. But still, I was like, okay, this is a good reminder that, you know, I can live without a super snatched jawline in exchange for having a smile that I'm used to rather than risking it all.
yes. You know what I have been using? I just kind of started using it the other day. Medicube, the wand. Actually, I can probably get them to send you one.
What kind of wand is it?
We did both. It's one of those microcurrent wands that what do you call it? It like I wrote about this too. I interviewed the founder.
Oh yes. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
And yes. I should be able to explain it better than I am right now. But yeah, I like and wanted to like kind of test it out to figure out like, okay, how does this all work? And it basically like has these like tiny electromagnetic pulses in this one mode called dermashot that the effect is that it does like, you know,
it tightens.
Ignore the way my mouth looks, but like it pulls back all of this and it just makes you look like you have a jawline, and you just like move it around like this for they recommend 3 to 10 minutes twice a day on like kind of both sides of your face, you figure. I'm learning this too based on like what was in the manual and what I see on TikTok and Instagram. I didn't do too much research into it. There are 8, like in terms of like how to use it on myself, because also, you know, this, I'm so lazy about my skincare routine that I was like, I'm in no way, shape, or form am I going to spend 10 minutes twice a day doing this thing on my face. Like I know it's not going to happen. So whatever I need to do has to be accomplished within like maybe 5 minutes, and it's happening once, and it's probably happening like right before I have to like go out for something, if I know I'm getting my picture taken, or if I feel like my face is like especially enormous. So I just did it the other day to kind of test it, 2 minutes on each side, and I totally saw a difference.
Oh my God. Okay, I need this. I really need this. Because I actually recently started using Medicube serum that I am like obsessed with. It's just like it just works, you know, like sometimes at least it really works well on my skin. And sometimes I think like, you know, a lot of the trending skincare and skincare brands, you know, you just don't know, like, is it going to be worth the investment? Is it actually going to work on my skin?
Yeah.
I see a lot of like TikToks about how like you can get some of the same quality ingredients in Trader Joe's skincare products, which actually made me feel good because I use Trader Joe's skincare products. But yeah, the Medicube serum, I'll send you the one that I'm using. It is also like it's really, really good.
Is it that PRDN that like, which is, by the way, I think that's like salmon sperm.
It's
or salmon DNA or something.
Yeah, I have a different salmon. It's like called Rejuverum or something. I don't know. I have a different product that's that. No, this one is not that, I don't think. But I'll send the picture of it. I'll have to find it. I don't think this one is, but maybe it is. Maybe that's why it works so well.
Well, when we get together, which I think that we'll probably wait to reveal exactly what that looks like. But I have so many products and I would love to bring them with me, but I just don't know if it's going to be the right format to be like trying skincare products. Maybe,
Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know.
Or we can, yeah, maybe we can, yeah, we can discuss it. I definitely think there
We'll
could be some
discuss because I have
value.
a bunch of their creams, like stuff. I don't know. I don't know what most of it means. Like I need to plug it into Chat GPT and have it decode for me. Like what is this supposed to be used for? Because also like some of these things do have pretty strong effects. And I
Mhm.
don't want to like even something like a St. Ives apricot scrub will make me not break out, but just it irritates my skin to the point that like
I don't think we're
um
using St. Ives apricot scrub
no, no,
for
no,
exactly
no.
that reason. I think we all learned like 15 years ago that we shouldn't use it because it
We're not
turns
supposed to
out
do that. Right. But
rubbing grains of
and why
salt.
is that? Because we were like, oh, it's not a good idea to like scrub an apricot pit on your face.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think exfoliating is obviously not a bad thing. I think that it's just harsher than maybe is like advisable for most skin types.
But I think that sort of like that's abrasion doesn't necessarily work well with me.
Mhm.
And so I'm afraid of using like yeah, you know, if it says what's the ingredient in like retinol, is that what
Retinol.
it is?
Yeah.
Or something where it's like, don't go in the sun if you're putting this on. Like, okay, well, no, I'm not gonna, I can't guarantee I'm not gonna go in the sun. So I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna use that. But yeah, I like Medicube. I like that thing. And yeah, that's kind of as far as I'm going at this moment in terms of facial modification, which is literally like that's not modifying anything. It's like going nowhere.
Yeah. Well, baby steps. And also your skin looks amazing. So you don't need it if it ain't broke.
Girl.
Oh, sorry, I lost you for a second.
Oh no, I said oil of Olay, which is not actually what I use, but that is what a gentleman in Washington, D.C., when we were in our 20s, yeah, we were in our 20s. What happened?
Yep.
He was like following us from the metro or something like that and was like, how come you ladies look so good? And I think you said oil of Olay.
I mean, that's a good answer. I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted to know, is what skincare product we were using to look so good. Just answering the question that the people are asking.
Seriously.
Okay, how was your incredible trip to Greece and the cruise and everything?
It was incredible. It was really, yeah. When we last spoke, I was on the island of Eos. I had just arrived in Greece. I'd had that crazy, like the marathon travel day that included going to the Acropolis and a 5-hour ferry. And it was really wonderful. And went to my first Greek wedding, and it was actually only the rehearsal dinner, like sort of like the Sangeet rehearsal dinner portion of the festivities, because we had to head back to Athens to get on the cruise on the actual wedding day.
Okay.
So we so we went to the I mean, calling it a rehearsal dinner, it's like, no, this was like a full out party. This would 100% qualify as like a wedding reception. But yeah, just above
Like
and
a
beyond.
pre-wedding reception. Yeah.
Exactly. It was at this really cool museum I'll post it in the show notes. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I'm going to butcher it. But it was at a top of a hill in Eos, so that when you look down, you saw the whole like the town and the landscape and the Aegean and the sun setting. So it was just this magical, this beautiful setting. And I didn't even get to look at all of the art. I wish I had. There were incredible sculptures paintings, contemporary Greek art in the gallery, but a room full of food, like pasta station, kebabs over here, there's slouvaki, there's cheese, there's all these desserts, like more than anyone could eat. There was a live band, there was a DJ, and an incredible bar, specialty cocktails. But the thing that I was really, there were two things that I was really just floored by. One is Europeans are so glamorous. They're just like, they're so well dressed, and the way they move, and like, I don't know. And it's not like, when I say glamorous, I'm not saying that they're all in like gowns and like couture this or designer that, or that they all
like, it's like they have a level, they have like a level of chicness to the way that they carry themselves. Yeah. They're chic.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether they're like 18 or 80, they just, I don't know. They're very, I don't know if it's that they're sure of themselves. And yes, this is a big sweeping generalization, but that was just what I noticed as a guest at this, probably my first European wedding, not only just like Greek wedding, but like wedding taking place where most of the people are not American. They're not Indian. They're not, they're not American, not Indian. I've been to weddings of other cultures, but not Greek culture. So I was just like, these, like, I want to be Greek. They're so, and the other thing is that they're also welcoming and hospitable. And like, this one woman, Rita, was like, did a whole photo shoot with my mom and I. She was like, okay, stand up, like without us even asking, it was like, you guys need to get a photo together. Go stand over there. I'm going to take like ones like this and that. And she's turning the camera and telling us how to pose. And I'm like, everyone's just so nice.
That's amazing. So nice. I mean, being in a place like that, definitely, I feel like we would all be nicer if we lived in beautiful spaces off the Mediterranean, had access to the sea, water, readily. If like culture and landscape makes a big difference in like your level of happiness and the way you carry yourself. So I feel like that is
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that can't be. But the chicness, I feel like you see that all over Europe, even in a city like Paris or London, and cities that are not on the coast or on the sea. And yeah, there's a style, there's some type of cultural influence there. It's a different version of glamour. I mean, I think within the United States, and within any country, there's not a homogenous like definition of glamour. But if I were to be really like stereotypical and like overgeneralized, like when I think of the like Europe chic, I'm not thinking of like super heavy makeup and super like curled and glamorous hair. Like it's almost like the chicness comes from a little bit of the understatedness. Like it results in this feeling of like elegance and glamour. But like, yeah, not glamour. I think sometimes when I think of glamour in the US, I think like the big fake eyelashes and the heavy makeup and like the super form-fitting cleavagey dress. And like, there's like that vision of like va-va-voom glamour. But yeah, with Europe, I think of it as being a lot more understated in a way that like, feels chic.
Same. And don't get me wrong, there were cleavagey dresses and there were mini skirts and there were women, girls/women. I'm saying girls because I feel like they could have been like 16 or maybe they could have been like 26. I don't know, who were there with their parents. Where I was like, wow, I'm really impressed you can wear that around your parents. Cause I know I would not have been able to at whatever tender age you are.
Yeah, right.
But I think the other thing, and someone said this, I saw someone say this on social media recently, is that I think in Europe, the idea of like dancing and partying and having we ended up leaving the wedding around midnight because we had to get a ferry the next morning, but the party was just getting started. And it wasn't like it was only like the kids who were out there on the dance floor. It was all the adults, like people of every age. And I think that Europeans just have this idea of like fun doesn't stop when you graduate from your 20s. Like you can go to a club when you're 60, 70, like older than that. This isn't just, it's not something that's considered like frivolous or just reserved for like young people. It's everyone can partake in this sort of, in like dancing and having a great time. I'm not even saying you have to like drink a lot. There wasn't, I mean, I think people were drinking a normal amount, but like, yeah, I think there's just a little bit more of a, we don't have to be so serious, or like there, maybe it's like, we don't have anything to prove. Like we're just going to have fun and embrace it. And like, that's what we're at a wedding, we're celebrating this great couple. That's what we should do.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, that's what I hope to be. Like, I hope I can be like that for the rest of my life. I think I feel like there's two things that happen here that maybe prevent that from being as common as it is like in Europe, or at least in Greece from what you experienced. But first, I feel like we have these like weird concepts of like of aging out of things. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's this idea that going to clubs or staying out late is something that you do. It's like associated with youth, like when you're in your 20s, or it's associated with being single. It's like those, you know, those might be the acceptable times to do that. And the idea is that once you're out of that age, or once you're not in that phase of life, like you're coupled off, or you're in your 30s, then, you know, suddenly that's kind of looked down upon. I think there's also just like a fatigue. Like I think maybe in the US, we abuse it so much that we're like, okay, we're tired. But I think, yeah, there's a lot of that. That happens not just with like how you socialize. It happens a lot with like how you dress. You know, there's a lot of that in terms of, oh, once you are a certain age, or once you're a mom, you're like expected to dress differently.
Right.
It happens even with just like, I don't know, just like a lot of lifestyle choices. You know, some of it, again, can be realistic and correlate with what you actually want and what stage of life you feel like you're in. But I remember thinking when I moved to Houston, I was single. I think I was like 38 years old. And I remember thinking, like, when I was deciding where to move, when I was ready to leave San Diego, like thinking about how at that age, how, you know, sort of thinking about how it could be hard to make friends in a, you know, relatively new city, from the perspective of the fact that like most of the women that I knew who were similarly aged as me weren't really going out that much. Maybe they do like a girls' dinner with friends that they've had for a long time, but like there wasn't a desire to like continue to meet new people and like continue to socialize and make new friends the way that I think you could find a little bit more in like New York City or LA. So I found like a lot of times in groups that I'm out with, and I don't go out late like that, but even just, you know, in circles where people are meeting new people for the first time, like I'll notice that I'm like, oh, I'm definitely on the older side. Like a lot of people who are doing this are younger, and you look around and it seems like a lot of people are younger. So I think part of it is just we have this concept of aging out, or, oh, you know, I used to do that when I was in this stage of life. And then I think the second thing is just US culture, the way that we treat our jobs, the lifestyle, how difficult everything is here. I feel like we also just get tired. Like we don't have the like energy, the physical like spirit that people in other cultures have when they're not under constant stress, when they're not grinding out 60 hours of work a week, when they're not constantly struggling to figure out financial things. And so, I think that also just results in like physical fatigue that causes us to like be like, okay, we just need to stay in. We don't have the energy to stay out and go out and dance. We just need to stay in and be in bed.
Yes. I think that's so true. I think optimization culture plays into it too over here, where we've got our Aura rings and people are tracking their macros and like they're using their mattress to measure how well they're sleeping. And it's like, gotta sleep, gotta like make sure I get my rest. Like, what's the point of going to have fun if it's going to mess up my routine or make it so that I don't get to do my workout in the morning or whatever.
Totally.
So, and you know, whatever, there's a time and a place for that. There's a time and a place for having fun. But I think that there's also, this, right. The notion of like, I was thinking about like, say, even at Indian weddings, where there are some Indian weddings where the parents, like our parents' generation and even the generation above them, like they'll be on the dance floor, they'll be out there. But I've been to so many where it's like, oh, the dancing has started. Okay, we're just going to sit here.
Yeah.
And look and like take pictures of the kids while they're dancing. It's like, that's not for us.
I feel like there was a big shift in the last 5 to 7 years. Like I think my parents and their friends 10 years ago, when like folks like in our age group were getting married in their late 20s, I feel like they were on the dance floor and they were like staying at the reception till like while the dance floor was like happening. I also feel, but I feel like in the last 10 years, especially, like, it's like, they're like, it's too loud, or like sometimes if we're staying in the same hotel as where the reception is, like they'll just leave, is like, they'll go up to their room, or they'll go outside the dance floor and be sitting in the hallway, like all chit-chatting.
Talking about stocks or like whatever. Yeah. Like politics or something, like Flo Rida is playing in the ballroom next door. It's like, what are you doing? What is going on here?
But you know, the other thing I would say, as you were describing this, I want to be like the Greek folks and on the dance floor till, you know, however long. But, you know, I think I'm a big fan of the first night, the pre-wedding reception. Like sometimes I think it can be a lot to have 2 nights of dancing, especially like if at some point it feels like the same songs are playing. But I feel like, you know, I've been to Indian weddings and just in general with Indian weddings and the Sangeet, it is like a mini reception. Like, I feel like the difference is that they'll have like stations of food instead of like food brought to your table or a buffet. You know, that's like the difference is it's like more casual.
Yes.
And maybe there are dance performances. But to me, that first night is like the night that everyone's so excited to like be there, to hang out, to reunite with their friends. Sometimes weddings have early morning starts. And so like the night of the reception, you're kind of tired. But yeah, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I feel like maybe more weddings should be first night reception style pre-party, you know, pre-wedding event. And then the second day could be like more of just like a dinner, and less emphasis on the dance floor. So everyone's like really going hard the first night and getting their dancing out. And then the next day, the wedding starts a little bit later, and then you have a really nice dinner.
I love that idea. Yeah. I love that idea because there's also, I think, I don't know if Sukumar came up with this or I'm sure other people have talked about it, but like the half-life of any gathering, any wedding weekend, like, you know, is it chemistry?
Yeah.
Chemistry or biology, but like day one, you're so amped, you're so excited to see your friends and see your family. You're like I'm going to go balls to the wall 110%. Totally. Day 2, you're like, I'm tired. I might be hungover. That was really fun, but I don't know if I have another night like that in me. So I'm going to go up 50. And then day 3, like, forget about it. I mean, you could ratchet back up. You could be like at 25, who knows? But it's like the first night of any friend gathering, friend family, like whatever it is, I feel like the first night is always the best.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first night is where it's at. And then part of the struggle with the second day would be that if you have an early start the second day, then you're exhausted because you went so hard the first night.
Exactly.
And then that results in the half-life because then by the evening of the second day, if that's when the reception is, you're so exhausted because you haven't slept enough. You like, you know, stayed out too late, your feet hurt, you're hungover, whatever. So yeah, the first night is where it's at. I think we need to petition the Indian coordinators that be to make like the first night the main night, and then have the second day, the wedding and the reception, start later so everyone can sleep in, and then do that. And then you don't have to do that idea. I don't know. I guess now things are different too, but like so much in Indian weddings is based on the getting ready time, you know, like the outfits, and you need hours to change and stuff. But I feel like that's changing. I feel like I'm seeing more and more people letting go of some of that and being willing to wear the same outfit to the ceremony and the reception. like that kind of thing.
I think
You did,
it should be,
right?
say that again.
You wore the same outfit to your ceremony and reception. Yeah.
I did, because it was that Falguni Shane peacock lenga that I was like, this is so beautiful. I never want to take it off. It wasn't heavy either, so I could actually move around in it. And yeah, I was like, there's no way. And there was not really much of a break, because our ceremony was, I think, at 2:30 in the afternoon. And then we went directly into cocktail hour. And we also had to make it so early because in Carmel Valley, where we got married, you have to stop all amplified music by 10 p.m. So we like kind of like back solving for like, all right, we need like a 5-hour reception. So we have to start at 5, which means cocktail hour has to start at like 3:34, which means the wedding ceremony has to start at 2:30. Like, yeah, that's one thing that I would do differently is that's the problem with getting married in an American wine country. I don't think that there's any, unless I could be wrong, but I know Napa is like this too. You have to stop by 10. Whereas in Europe, they're like, yeah, go until 6 o'clock in the morning, go until 9, 10. Like, don't shut down.
Maybe you guys should do a 10-year, or you're almost at your 10-year, right?
Yeah, it'll be 10 years in 2028.
10-year vow renewal wedding anniversary celebration in Greece.
Maybe.
There.
Although this was something else I saw on social media. It's like people who do vow renewals, that's almost like a what do you call it? Like a bad omen. Like you end up getting divorced.
Oh, really?
Well, not like as a rule, but remember how Heidi Klum and Seal, every year they would do a vow renewal?
Okay.
Didn't work. I think a lot of Real Housewives, vow renewal, next year they're like filing for divorce.
Fair. I mean, I guess like part of it also is like, why as a culture do we require weddings or like things adjacent to weddings as like reasons to throw a big party and get together?
Right.
You know, like,
right.
So yeah, we don't need to do a vow renewal. We could also just go to Greece and have a big party. And
I would rather do like a big, like a 45th birthday party.
Okay.
Let's just do like a big 45th birthday party, because that's going to be
the same year. Right? Yeah, same year.
Yeah.
How was the cruise after all of the wedding events?
The cruise was
okay. I'm ready for the tea. I feel like we got some interesting information coming.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm writing about the cruise, and the cruise was really lovely, and I am still formulating all my thoughts. The cruise itself was really lovely. Full stop. I will say that I was really uncomfortable with at times with being the type of person who the kind of cruise passenger who is getting off the ship into a relatively small city or port town, unloading with, hundreds of other people. And we would often not be the only cruise ship docked at a particular port of call. So there would be us and like 2 other even bigger ships. So this one, like a tiny port in Montenegro, is getting flooded with thousands of people who are there just for the day, who are getting into these big coach buses and being driven around, and like landmarks are pointed out, and like tromping down these cobblestone streets, and like going around and taking selfies like this. And it's, a lot of these places rely on tourism, but it's also like, I don't know. I was just like, I feel this is not the way that I normally see things. It was eye-opening in a lot of ways. And some of our excursions, like the smaller ones that we did to family-owned wineries, where it was just my mom and I and maybe like 10 other people. And we weren't going in one of those big buses. We were in like a smaller van, and we were driving, an hour and a half away to a place that probably doesn't get a lot of visitors during the year. And it felt really, actually, this one winery in Montenegro where we learned how to make a traditional meal, and it felt like visiting a family in their home, and it was really lovely, and I was so grateful for that experience. Like that felt much more sort of meaningful. But I don't know. I'm still unpacking. I don't know if it was just like my level of discomfort because that's just not how I usually travel, or like there were some conversations had with other passengers that like weren't 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 great. They weren't like terrible, but you know, when you're sitting and talking and someone's like, "Oh, where are you from?" and I said LA, and this guy's like, "Yeah, too bad Spencer Pratt didn't get that nomination, huh? He really could have fixed up that city."
Was he American? The guy
Yeah.
saying this? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he had opinions. Someone who lives in Arizona and had lots of opinions about Los Angeles being misrun and lots of opinions from Donnie. And I'm like, what? Like, why?
But also, we're on
I'm
vacation.
never gonna see
We
you
don't.
again.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't need
want
to talk about
about this. I don't want to exchange political views or have this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
why? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never taken a cruise. I don't have a super strong interest to, although recently I've like been a little bit more curious just because I think maybe doing a shorter cruise, just because like I've heard such great things about the actual cruise experience. I think
onboard experience, phenomenal. Love it.
yes. And I think that's, to me, that would be the main attraction. Like, I don't think I would take a cruise in order to see the locations that we dock at. Like, I would rather just do that by going to that location on my own and having like a 3-4 day trip there. But I can see how obviously cruises are efficient because you can see lots of different locations in that sense. But I also think in some ways the trade-off is like it takes a lot of the planning out of it, right? Like from, most of the time when I hear about cruises, people you just pack. Everything else is kind of pre-planned. Like you don't have to think about your meals. You don't have to think about like where you're going to stay. You don't have to think about what activities, like everything is sort of handed to you on a menu and you just choose. So the trade-off of like not having to make effort in planning also comes at this like cost of you could be interacting with people that you don't really like, or, or you could be going to these places that are sort of overrun in these locations with tourists. I feel like I think a lot of people who don't like to plan or are overwhelmed by it, or who like to be around community or like to be around people, but maybe are traveling solo or just, in a small group. I feel like a cruise becomes really appealing for those types of travelers.
Definitely. And I will say that my mom loved it. She loved all of it. And that was really important. This was for her birthday. And so I'm really glad about that.
Yeah.
I also, and we did meet some really lovely people who, like people from New Jersey, from Australia, from like England, where we had like great conversations too. From India, there's so many people in the cruise industry, like staffers from India, from the Philippines, from all over the world, and they were all so welcoming, and that part was really lovely. I will say the crossing, the Cunard Queen Mary 2 that we did from New York to London back in November. That was 7 days at sea. And maybe it's because it was going from point A to point B. And it's like, technically, like you're in transit. This is like a form of transportation.
Yeah, exactly.
No stops. There's a historical precedent. This is like how people used to go between America and Europe in, a century ago. That was so lovely. And that was one where I thought, I'm like, I'm going to go crazy 7 days at sea. And I would 100% do that again. Like no questions asked. It was really, it's like you have Starlink internet and all these places to like read and write and amazing lectures and food. And like, there's like literally no complaints there. That would be really fun. But yes, I do think for like multi-generational families, or like if you have people where mobility is a little bit of a challenge, or some people want to leave the ship and go do a thing and other people don't, like cruises are really good for that.
Yeah.
So, so no, all in all, amazing trip. Amazing trip. I'm looking forward to writing about it.
Yeah.
It was, I will say Europe, everyone has been saying this, but like Europe in the summer is just so hot now.
Oh,
And you know, you hear that. I heard that. I've heard it. I've lived it. Like whatever. And on the receiving end, I'm like, yeah, of course, it's like summer. Like boohoo, go like jump in the ocean, stop complaining. The thing is that like we were in Split and Zadar and these like beautiful historic towns, and like you don't even want to
you
walk
can't do
around.
anything. Yeah, it's like what we were
Can't do
talking about
anything.
last time about like in Athens, how I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I get why people travel in the summer, and a lot of it is related to kids, if their kids are on
Sure.
summer break. But because I don't have kids, for me, summer travel internationally to like Europe is really unappealing. It's like more crowded, it's obviously more expensive, and it's really hot. And again, there's not really a reason I need to do it in the summer because I could do it any other time.
You can go anytime.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm with you. I think when it's that hot, we were just saying like it affects your mood, it affects your ability to do things, and you're spending all that money, and you're like, then it gets you in this position where I'm like, I have to see the goddamn Parthenon because I'm here. I can't possibly, I don't know when I'm going to be here next, but then you're like miserable and sweating through your clothes as you do it. And then you don't feel cute, and then you don't want, like, you look awful in pictures, and you're sticky, and then it's just that, like, just can definitely put a big damper on it. So yeah, I feel like if you have the flexibility, not doing it in the summer is the way to go.
I look awful in almost all of the pictures. I was just like, I don't even want to. I love taking like an outfit selfie on vacation. I was just like, I don't even want to do this. I don't like the way I look right now. I don't like the way my hair looks. I did a really funny thing on the last day of the cruise where I had a certain amount of credit that could be used at the spa.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like my roots were kind of coming in. So I was like, oh, well, how much does it cost to get your roots done? Okay, I'm just going to apply the credit to that. Great. And we had to be off the ship by 9:30 in the morning to go visit a winery. And the spa opened at 8 a.m. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go to the spa, and they're telling me, okay, if you don't need it styled, an hour, you can be in and out. If you're just getting like a root touch up. Great. Okay. Go to bed. Wake. My alarm goes off at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I can't work out. I end up sleeping until like 7:30 or something. And it's like one of those like kind of half sleeping because my mom is up and I'm hearing things, but I'm just like being lazy. I don't want to get out of bed. Finally force myself out of bed, jump into the shower. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll be like 5 minutes late. I end up arriving 10 minutes late. Just not that late, but I also have a hard out. Like I need to get, and I'm wearing what I'm wearing for the day, but I've got no makeup or I didn't wear makeup pretty much the entire time. I've got no sunscreen or my bag packed for the day. We're going to be gone for 7 hours. So I get there, I sit in the chair, and this really nice man, he was from India. It was his third day on the ship. I want to say his name was like Domini or something like that. Anyway.
Okay.
We're making conversation as he's like applying the color, and I've told him like, I'm really sorry to rush you. I have to be off the ship for this excursion by 9:30. He's like, okay, no problem. He puts it all in, and it takes about 40, like ideal circumstance, about 30 to 40 minutes for color to process for me for like great coverage. I know this. I don't know. I'm sort of thinking like some miracle is going to happen where it'll suddenly be faster.
Yes, the miracle on the sea that you're
exactly miracle on the sea, or somehow he's gonna have like the color application powers of a wizard and be like put it all on within 5 minutes. Of course, that doesn't happen because no one can do that. So I'm sitting there, and by the time he's done applying the color, it's 8:40. And I'm like,
Oh
I've got
no.
to, yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I'm like, how
God.
long do you think it's going to take? He's like, like half an hour and then we can wash you. And I'm like, oh, the washing process, that's going to take at least 10 minutes. And then I've got to go upstairs and we have to be in a bus because the bus is going to leave without us. If
Right.
we're not on there, they don't care. They're going. And I'm like, oh my
I'm
God.
so
Okay, wait,
stressed. I'm like
no.
really stressed hearing this story.
Like, wait, like I can, what, how about 10 minutes? It's like 10 minutes. Like, yeah, like, can we just let it like sit for 10 minutes? He's like, okay, sure. 10 minutes. And so then he gets out a hair dryer. He's like going around my head with the hair dryer, trying to like heat up the color. And he's massaging
Mm-hmm.
like the stuff into my head, which like felt really good. And to his word, like after 10 minutes, rinsed it out. And of course, at this point, I'm in the back, I'm in the chair, like I'm cursing myself because I'm the one who showed up late.
Yeah.
And like, of
Right. This
course,
is
this man can't.
all yeah.
Yeah. So it's so typical. It's so typical of me to be like, can you, like, I need to be in and out by this time as I'm making the appointment and then to show up late. But he's washing it out and I'm like, so did it take? And he's like, yeah, it's like, actually, it's all good. It's like totally, I'm like, okay, phew, great, amazing. I go up, like, done. I'm out of there by say like 9:10. My hair is dripping wet. I show up like back to the room with like a towel around my head or around my shoulders. My mom's like, where have you been? Like, whatever. I like run a comb through it, put some product in. I take a brief look in the mirror. I'm like, okay, yes, this looks like fine. All we get on the bus, all goes well. Later that evening, I come back to the room and I like actually take the trouble to like inspect. Like, this dye job is gonna last about like a week and a half.
Yeah.
He did the best he could. He
Right.
did the very best he could given the circumstances. But I mean, you can't really tell
Can't see
here.
it. Yeah.
You can't see it, and probably I'm the only one who notices, like, it's pretty fine here, but if you even just, like, part,
Oh
like, one
yeah.
layer
Mm-hmm.
underneath, because they always cover this first, and then they start getting to, like, all of the other layers that, you normally don't see.
Right.
So, all of this is to say that for the next couple weeks, my hair might look like that of a crazy person even more than usual, and it's all my fault. No one to blame but myself.
There, yeah. Well, at least for the rest of the trip, like, and for the week and a half where it lasts, it looks really good. There's something about, I do this with massages sometimes. There's some like twisted thing that like those of us who are like this, like we do, which is like we take what should be a generally like pleasant and relaxing
Yeah.
kind of self-care thing and turn it into this like stressful experience by like being late. Like every time I'm going to a massage,
Yes.
I'm like speeding to get there, like texting them, like I'm going to be late. And then it's like, of course, then they have to end at a certain time. So I've shortchanged myself the like
Yes.
10 minutes or whatever. And like, I'm just like rushing and stressed. And it's just like, why? Because then you go into it like with the
Why?
wrong mentality. I'm like, why do we do this? Like, why can we not just
Exactly.
like let ourselves truly treat it as like a relaxing experience instead of like a chore that we're stressed, that like surrounded by time
It
limits and
doesn't
stress.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, I had 7 days on this ship. I could have scheduled this hair appointment like
Yeah.
anytime. Could
It's
have done
just,
it anytime. Instead, I decide to wait until like the very last possible window before we have to get off. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I just have to do it then.
must
And I
do
guess,
it. Ugh.
yeah. And then I also didn't like, my mom was like, wait, you're going to the salon. Why? I'm like, they're just going to wash my hair because my mom doesn't color her hair. And so I was like, I don't want her to judge me.
She doesn't know. She doesn't
I
know
mean,
you color your hair.
no, she
Okay.
totally knows,
Okay.
but she probably would have said, because this is what I probably would have said. Like, you're really gonna spend your last morning on this ship, like in the
Right.
salon,
In the
getting
salon,
your
getting
hair
your roots
colored?
dyed. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Why would you do that? Yeah. Like, so she was like, oh, so you just like went to the salon to have your hair washed? Like, yeah, exactly.
That's so funny. Yeah. How often do you normally have to do your roots touch ups?
I
Like
mean, at
every
this
month?
point, like 6 weeks ish. I can like stretch it a little bit. They have these like wax pencils that can get in there. And I really think like I'm the only person who notices, but But yeah, it's just one of those things where once I start noticing and it like really starts to bother me, I'm just like, I need to do something about this. And I have done it myself at home, especially during COVID, and it's just a mess. It's a mess. I don't do it well. Like all of these like back layers here, like I don't know what's happening back there. My hair could be completely different color.
Yeah, that's that it. I wouldn't be able to do dye my hair myself. We didn't talk about anything we had planned on talking about, by the way, but I love that. We've had so much to say, but yeah, I don't dye my hair. I mean, there's certain things maybe we've talked about this before, but like my nails I don't get my nails done often. Pedicures, it's just, if you leave it to me to do it, I won't do it, and I wouldn't do a good job with it. So it's just one of those things that I strongly prefer. Like I can't remember the last time I painted my toenails myself.
You know what? I've actually started doing it again just because I don't have a pedicure place near me that I like. The one that's closest to me has the most irritating music, and I'm just like, why am I paying?
You don't just want to use headphones?
I guess I could, but I'm also like, I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm like, I'm being unnecessarily cheap about this. I'm like why am I paying $40 to like sit in this? I don't really like sitting in this chair. I don't feel like going and navigating for parking. I'll just like get some nail polish remover and paint my toenails the same color that I've had for like 5 years. And I just don't care.
Yeah, easy enough. No, I get it. I mean, I think there's like I'd gotten mine done and I was supposed to go again because they started to chip before the last weekend, and I just didn't have time. And then I was like, well, they're a little chipped. I was like, I could either do them myself or just let them be chipped. We had a big religious ceremony of puja for my parents at the temple for their 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Over the weekend, which was great. We had some of my aunts and uncles surprised my parents and surprised me by traveling from India for it, which was really cool. We had cousins in town. So at that point, once everyone was in town, they all came in a few days early. I was like, yeah, the nail salon's not going to happen. It's fine. We can just have chipped nails at this event. No one's going to be looking at my feet at all. But yeah, it was, I definitely, I need to go. And I'm like, I would rather just go and have a professional do it than do it myself. It was cool. It was making me think about us and our college friends. But so my parents, 50 years married. And for this, there were probably over 100 people they invited, all of their friends. They've been in Houston since 1980. So they have a big community here. My mom was 18 when she got married. And then,
wow, your mom was 18?
She was really young. Yeah, she was really, really young when she got married.
How old was she when she had your brother?
21.
Oh my gosh.
And then she moved to Houston. Okay. Yeah. So she moved to Houston in 1980, a little bit before my parents moved to Houston, a little bit before they had me. But all of that to say, it was so cool. So I was looking through old photos and, finding their wedding pictures, and then finding pictures from their early days in Houston. And it's incredible how many people that knew them in 1980 are still their friends, what is that, 45, 46 years later. So they've basically been, a witness to almost all of their 50-year marriage. And then how many people, including some of my friends who came into town, one of my friends, Nina, came into town, Mega was there, just how many of our friends have known them since their 25th wedding anniversary when we had a party. We had a picture of that. And so it was just kind of cool to see. And it was making me think about how, we've known each other since we were 18. So we're coming up on we are at 25 years of, is that right?
Oh my God.
Am I doing the math right? I think we're at 25 years of knowing each other almost exactly, because we started college
18 to 43. Yeah.
We started college in September of 2001.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We should have a 25th anniversary party.
I mean, I'm saying, right? Isn't that that's kind of crazy?
Okay.
I was thinking about
September. When we get together in September, we'll We should go to a restaurant and tell them it's our
It's our
25th
anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah.
We should totally do that. Yes. Okay. I think we have
That's
to do that.
amazing. So I feel like on maybe in one of our future pods, we need to do like a compare and contrast of like what we were like when we were roommates in college versus now. But it's yeah, that's such a long,
That's a great idea.
such a long time that we've been, and it's not just like that we've known each other, but that we've been close friends for 25 years. It's insane. Although we weren't friends the beginning of freshman year.
I was gonna say.
It took a little bit of time. Yeah, it was more like sophomore year that we became closer.
Yeah, I think probably when we were like 19, but yes, but no, we definitely knew of each other. We definitely knew of each other, and like yes, like if you were walking on campus, I knew who you were.
I mean, we would say hi. You don't think we would say hi? Or maybe not. You're right. Maybe it wasn't.
I
until
don't think
sophomore
that
year
we
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I think the only person from our group that I would say hi to was Arthi.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we
And that
didn't
was because
actually
of
like
the
get to
the
know each
paper
other
denim
better.
cloth, like the because she was
Nothing
we knew
like
each other because of
designer
our
jeans.
jeans.
Yeah, nothing like designer jeans to form a friendship around. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm still just gonna say 25 years because it's an easy
Yeah,
number
no,
to
it
say
is still 25.
24. But yeah, isn't that cool? I'm like
That is cool.
I'm proud of us. But yeah, we should definitely do a compare contrast because in some ways I feel like you've posted some old photos of us before, but I think we look just as good or better than we did in college.
Absolutely.
And like I kind of feel like we both, yeah, it'll be fun to kind of revisit what college us would say about us now. Because I feel like we both kind of landed exactly where I would have maybe predicted that we would in many ways.
Yes, we have to do this. I'm looking at my bookshelf because I think I have like a physical Cornell photo album that includes pictures from those years. So
Oh,
yes,
good. Yeah, I'll have to. We'll
gotta pull
plan.
that
I'll have
up.
to dig those up too. But it was great to catch up. I loved hearing about your incredible trip.
So good to catch up as always. But yes, we'll talk more next week.
Sounds good. Love you.
All
Talk to you
right.
soon. Bye.
Love you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.